Hey guys, welcome back to the English Gentleman Gamer with me, Roscoe. Welcome to another edition of Retro Corner, Quest for the Worst Game Ever. This is G.I. Joe, All-American Hero from 1991. I had planned on trying a game called Chiller for the NES, recommended by a guy I found on YouTube called Psycho-Mog. Apologies if I said that wrong. He does a lot of retro playthroughs. He did one at my request, but one I sort of suggested for the one Japanese game I ever owned on the Super Nintendo called Parodius, and he did that without taking a single death. So I do suggest you go and check out his channel. I'll try and remember to put a link in the description. There's a lot of retro playthroughs, and if you ask him nicely, and there's a game he's not done, he'll do it for you. So I picked this because I heard of the name G.I. Joe. I didn't know if the game came first or it's based on a comic or what. I will admit to being quite ignorant on the exact origins of G.I. Joe, but it sounded like it could be shit, so I thought I'd give it a go. The reason why I couldn't do Chiller was because it's a Zapper game, and I could get my mouse to move the cursor for aiming, but I couldn't get it to shoot anything. Or it might be that I was shooting and it just wasn't killing anything, I don't know. That one kind of went a bit tits up, to be honest, so I decided to do this. And at first I thought it'd be quite crap, but actually I thought it was quite good in the end. Not saying it's quite as good as the Probotectors of this world, or Contra, whatever side of the Atlantic you're on, but it wasn't too bad. The outfit that made it, Taxan or Texan, whatever they're called Taxan, the people who published this, I've never heard of. So that's always a sign that it's going to be shit, in my opinion, or it usually is. But whoever's done this game has actually not done a bad job. I struggled with the controls a little bit. Obviously, never having a control. I like the way this guy's in the foreground and then jumps into the action. Again, the biggest issues I have with the controls, I suspect, are down to the fact that my controller isn't very responsive. I have a cheap PC controller, joypad thing that I bought a while ago. To be honest, I should have paid I paid 15 quid for it. I should have paid £10 more and got a proper Xbox one. But anyway, so I finally worked out how to shoot, because you pick 3 characters at the beginning. I didn't find that you could actually change them during a level. Obviously, I die at some point soon, and you can then choose the next character. I'm sure you can pick different characters for different levels of stuff. This is as far as I got, actually. The way this level works, there is no checkpoint or anything, so I mean, it's not a massively long level. It's only taken me like 2 minutes to get from the beginning to this bit. I didn't do very well there. It did seem to be taking hits. That plane thing, rocket jet fucker, whatever it is. I did see the collectibles as well, so this guy seems to be able to jump quite high. He does appear to be like some sort of ninja dude, whatever. So he seems to be quite good at jumping high, obviously, and he's got his little sword, which is much more powerful than his throwing star thing. Again, I've seen a few pickups that I couldn't get to before with the more heavily armed guy. This guy's sort of projectile weapon, if you want to call it, isn't very good. But on to the actual game itself, I think the level design, it's just a platform you're running up and down, but the way the enemies come at you and there's a variation in enemies is pretty good for a NES game. The graphics I actually think are quite good. They've used some pretty strong reds for the trees, bits of the foreground, and I actually think it works quite well. The NES had quite a limited colour palette, but the jungle in the foreground is shaking a little bit, the tree branches are shaking. There's a slight differentiation in these soldier looking dudes. There's different coloured fish that jump at you, different coloured monkeys and shit like that. I think it's actually pretty good. The only sort of black mark against it, I would say, is the sound is quite appalling. Having said that, I never actually owned the NES, so I don't know how this compares with other games. The only one I've played recently would be, I played that fucking Universal Soldier pile of shit last week. I'm guessing there's a missile there. I never worked out how to do it, how to use it, so that might be worth looking in the instructions. I wondered if this was just some sort of survive long enough and get out of the way, but it didn't appear to be the case. It did appear to only get shot. So I thought I'd actually have a bit more of a chance. It's just this guy's projectile things are a bit piss weak, to be honest, which is why I didn't do very well. I think I do start shooting him in a minute. There we go, actually trying to shoot him, but there's no gauge on how strong this guy is or anything, so I just kept plugging away and I think I ended up dying. I have to say I'd be tempted to try this again. It wasn't as painful as Universal Soldier. It was, Probotector or Contra, whatever you want to call it. I've played that on the NES. It's a bit of a twat, to be honest, because it's so bloody difficult. This, at least I managed to get to the end of the first level with some of my health. I like the idea of using different characters for different levels. Obviously, like, was it called the Lost Vikings? Did it something like that way back when? Where based on the level design, I got one over them. Based on the level design, you would need different characters with different strengths. So this guy's got a big machine gun, so can't jump very high. It seems the first guy I had the better machine gun. It had like a three disc firing mode or whatever. But I like the way there's a little animation with these critters jumping up at you. Well, I don't do very well at killing him, it has to be said. Obviously that gun, I don't know if it's a gun upgrade or ammunition or whatever, is out of my reach. I don't know, I was trying to just run this bit for the sake of speed, because I've already done it twice, but unfortunately that red guy with his spear gun or whatever got me on that one. I'm putting the glitching down to the emulator more than the game itself. I don't really know why I died, but that's about it really. So I'd have to say G.I. Joe was pretty good. The graphics are pretty lively, the sound was pretty poor, but the gameplay was not bad. So it's certainly not a contender for the worst game ever. Like I say, I'm going to try and get Chiller on the recommendation of Psycho-Mog, who has done lots and lots of playthroughs. And I'll try and bring you that next Friday. Well, Friday is Good Friday, so it'll probably be Thursday when I try and bring that one to you. But have a good weekend, guys. I'll try and get something up over the weekend, and I'll catch you all later. Take it easy. Bye.